Hey, I'm Will Wheaton, and I have just received a dump truck full of gold bullion to tell you to watch the Scene Snobs.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Scene Snobs Podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, here with the Scene Snobs. This is our fuck off episode. That's right. It's our episode where we're just going to have some fun, go through the year, because we're celebrating our 4th anniversary of this podcast on Friday. And I'm joined by somebody who works with the Scene Snobs. We brought him on. He's been a fan for a long time. Now he's coming to work with us, and we love him here. And that is the man, Paul. Call him PA Paul around here. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I want to thank everybody who's watching and commenting. We got PTK here. He says he's hoping for, or she, I'm not quite sure, or however they identify. Here's how hoping for a scary, funny, and awesome podcast.
Hell yeah.
And
That's
Brian,
actually my brother.
Oh, what's up, man? Thank you so much. And Bryant Durham says, you my boy, Blue. I love that. Do you know Bryant too? Or?
Yes, I do.
Hey, thank you guys for joining in. I really appreciate you. Dude, I'm so glad you're here, man. Congratulations. An official snob. Well, you've been a snob for a long time. There's no official about it, man.
I joined the cult.
No cult. No cult. I don't need a Waco situation. He is not in my barn. It's not happening. I will give you Kool-Aid. It will be poison free. So you're wearing orange. You're ready. You're like super stoked for this month.
Foaming at the mouth. I was ready for this month all year.
I love it. Brian Dorn says, wood security in the house. Damn right. He's our snob security. He's keeping us safe all around. I'm going to hire you for security. I can't wait for the day that's not going to come, which is me being a celebrity and Paul is my guy. And they're going to look at him and be like, you're 6'8". What are you doing? I'm just like, that's right. I'm 6'8", but Paul is my guy. What does that tell you? What flavor Kool-Aid? Blue for you, sir. There's no flavors in Kool-Aid. There's colors. That's what you get.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color, Paul?
Purple.
Oh, yeah. Purple drink is the best. Oh, my God. My wife still doesn't understand that.
It's a distinct taste, and you definitely know you're in the right crowd if they like it.
Yeah, that's legit. So, dude, you are working Woods of Terror. You know, I'm not going to give it away, what you're doing, how you're doing it. Well, although Bryant gave it away. So let's talk about Woods of Terror a little bit. I want to give them a little bit of a plug because I hear they're awesome. I've never actually been. I would love to go. What's it like, man, working at this haunt?
So it's actually been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I haven't taken the chance to go through the haunt just yet. I know they got rid of. Yeah, no. I just feel bad. So they hired me on to fill the shoes of a gentleman that had been doing my position for about 16 years. And I'm absolutely allowed to go through with like people I know maybe or things like that or at the end of the night. I just don't want to take advantage of it because I'm still trying to get my feet wet and do a correct job. So I just haven't, asked anyone to cover my spot yet. But I know they added a Stranger Things venue to it, and I've heard it's outstanding and it looks amazing. And everybody is all smiles after they come through, or tears from freaking out the whole time and loving it. It's just been a lot of fun.
Well, one, I'll say, as a security guard, it is your duty to go out there and take in the haunt so you know what's going down and how it is. You are an inefficient security guard. You haven't been through those haunt halls yet.
Yeah,
I bet you Brian agrees.
Yep, because I think Brian's actually been through it at this point. I still haven't.
He's getting his haunted security certification. That's what we're calling it now. I'm getting you for your wall, which you can't see right now, but he has a lot of nice artwork. Like one of the artists also did this for us. The scenes. If you're listening to the podcast, unfortunately, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but. I'm going to get you a certificate framed and I'm going to give it to you at CFF next year. I know I'll probably see you before then, but I'm going to give it to you at CFF next year. And I'm going to present it to you as your haunting security certification, but only if you go through the haunts.
Absolutely. I totally will. And I meant to tell you on the phone earlier, Destiny, they came through this past weekend.
Well, isn't she working for it or something? Or no, maybe she's not working at that one. She's working at one this year.
Is she? So. Okay. I just know they were all there this past weekend. And so were the gentleman that filmed for Dave for his movies. He was down there as well.
Oh, okay. Steve Wells.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a family, man. The horror family all come together.
It was awesome. So Steve and I got to talk for probably about 30-40 minutes, which was awesome.
Cool.
I felt bad because I didn't realize the gentleman that was with him had not seen Go Away. So I started talking pretty freely about Go Away. And he's like, la, la, la. And I was like, I am so sorry. I just assumed since you're close to Steve, you had seen it already. My fault.
You're fine. Don't worry. That's why I say, listen, you're allowed to ruin anything you want. No, of course. But dude, I'm so happy for you because you love everything horror.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're the guy. So what's it like being there, being part of it this year? This is your first time at a haunt working as security, right?
Yeah, just being at a haunt, period. When they interviewed me, they asked the last time I even been at Woods Terror, and I was like, probably 18 years ago. Because even though I do love horror, I personally have never seen a reason to pay someone any amount of money to scare me. That doesn't make sense.
How many times have you been to a horror movie this year? In the theaters?
At least 40 plus times.
So you paid who to see him?
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
You paid the guys who won't pay anybody else.
Yep.
So no, I'm kidding, of course, but I get it. There's a different thrill to it, you know.
Right.
Not everybody's into haunts as they are into the movies and things like that.
Right. But the atmosphere, it's just awesome. I'm always excited to go there over the weekend. I know Brian's been enjoying it too. The people we work with are just very well versed and great guys. Like, they're very attentive, and you feel like you have backup if something were to ever happen.
And they're ranked 4th on the East Coast. That's awesome. That's very cool. Oh, dude,
great job.
I love it, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's just fun seeing a bunch of, couple thousand people every day that are just excited about the season as I am.
Yeah, that's legit, man.
So you're happy to be there.
I was just going to ask, so like when you're doing this and you're out there, and I realize this turned into an interview only because I'm really excited about a haunt. Like, he works here. He's been on the show before. I don't have to interview, but I'm excited about the haunt because it seems like all the places you get a security guard job is literally like a job on Scooby-Doo. You were on a water park. You're in a haunt now. Like, it's ridiculous. Right. It's really, you're trying to get yourself killed in all the best
maybe
ways.
Yep.
Oh man, no, it's got to be a lot of fun though.
Now I'm part of the podcast, so it's gonna be the one time I cover something live. Just asking for trouble.
Yeah. Well, Michael Phipps says I never seen Stranger Things, so I wouldn't get that room. That's true. And he says, "Gotcha. Did you get us with the? I missed it. I'm sorry, sir." And Moonlight says, "What's up? What's going on?" So thanks for joining in. Appreciate you, Moonlight. I've seen comments on some stuff on the YouTube before, so thanks. I appreciate you, dude. It's the fuck off episode, and to explain it to anybody who's new, and if Paul's parents are watching, I'm sorry. So, the fuck off episode is the episode we do every year before the anniversary. That is to purge the year that prior, and then jump right in and walk into the new year just nice and refreshed. So I feel like I should call Casey up so he gets to purge a little bit. It's been a weird year.
Yep.
And I can call on Casey because Casey's a great guy. He's a friend, and I still talk. You just saw him, didn't you?
Yeah, Casey actually just stopped by to come down to town on Wednesday night. So we had dinner, and I may or may not have gotten very drunk until about 2 a.m., which was awesome because I had work the next morning.
Oh, God. Now you see why I stick with the water.
Yeah, that's why I'm drinking out of a solo cup. So here we are.
Well, I mean, I don't care so much. Well, no, you drink from the bottle, so that's not a judgment.
No, not at all.
Danielle Gal says, "I don't appreciate the harsh words." Danielle, really sorry to upset you with the harsh words. We will try to tone it back. I do not want to offend anybody. And Michael says the same. People's grandmothers are listening. It's true. Dude, there's grandmothers that are younger than me at this point, and it's sad that I just said that. So I know for this year for me has been a whirlwind, of course, and talking about it just for the terms of the show and everything's going. Oh my God, yeah, I know. Dan, I'm kidding with you, buddy. I love you. You know that. You can catch Dan on Math and Smash. So, as we're going on and, going throughout the year, it's just one of those things. Oh, they're talking to each other. Moonlight and, is Michael one of yours?
Yeah, Michael's one of my close friends. Yeah.
Very well. I love that. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys doing this. They're having a conversation in the comments. I love this. That's the best. So, Paul, we need to talk, man. When are you going to move to Virginia? We're waiting.
Right.
Let's make this movie.
I know.
No, we don't. We can do it anywhere. I don't care. That's the best part. What are you getting into for this month besides the Scene Snobs content? I know you got something exciting going on.
So I am still working on my short film. I'm getting closer to finally having that script done. I been plowing through all of Twilight Zone in honor of Twilight Zone's, I think it was 100th. It was their anniversary of their startup date. So I started plowing through all their episodes, and I was watching them, trying to figure out what makes them so interesting. Because one, it's in black and white, and a lot of people find that boring. But it just captivates you, but not necessarily something's jumping out at you. There's not grotesque sex scene. There's nothing that's eye-catching nowadays that they have, but it's still, you can't keep your eyes off it. So I've been plowing through the episodes. I've really been trying to take apart what's going on and trying to add that more into my script, and I've really been changing a lot of it around just for that.
That's good. That's a good thing. But honestly, keep in mind, don't succumb to what you're reading though. So it's not reading, but what you're watching and stuff now, because it is good to want to pay homage or not copy, but steal from the best. You want to have a look, you want to have a feel towards it, because that's what you're going for, and it's based off of that. But it's very easy when you're writing to get lost in the thing that's inspiring you and to change it too much where it sounds exactly like that. And it's like, you don't want that. You want to have your own voice to it, be able to kind of just push through and stuff, without mimicking, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
And I don't think you are, but that's like a fine line. It's easy to get lost into it. That's why I'm just saying that. I will say this though. Do you know why the Twilight Zone was in black and white? Because it didn't have to be.
Oh, I didn't know. I assumed they had to be. I do not know this.
There's a few reasons. One, it was cheaper to film in black and white. When the concept of the film came out, or the show came out, it was a heavy concept. It was new. TV was very fresh, very new, only a few years old. They didn't know if it would work, so you were going to do black and white. You were going to do color grade, all that stuff. The second reason they did black and white is it's creepier and eerier in tone. So you're automatically, when something's darker, on edge.
Gotcha.
The third reason they did black and white is because black and white is easier to watch at night. You feel more comfortable. Your eyes are comfortable with black and white when it's a dark room.
That makes sense.
So Rod Serling thought of everything, man. He knew exactly what he wanted when he made this.
Well, he's a classy fellow. He's the Frank Sinatra of TV series for me.
He is? You think so?
Yeah.
What?
To me.
That's an odd assertion to make. Is it an assertion? No, I'd say comparison. Like an odd comparison to make. I don't dislike it. I think I kind of get where you're going, but why is he the Frank Sinatra of television for you?
Because I just hold them at a different level. Just his voice, to me, is just very soothing. He seems very charismatic. And all he's doing is introducing the story, but if he's talking, I'm listening. I might tone out sometimes during episodes, but that beginning, when he's introducing the scene and telling you what's going on, I'm 100% involved in everything he's saying.
So how did you take to the reboots of the franchise? Because they did it quite a few times.
So without trying to get too political and pissing anybody off, I did love a majority of the episodes because I love Jordan Peele. I loved his take of Twilight Zone and what it would be in today's age. For me, when they started that, the climate had become a little too political in everything we were seeing, and COVID and everything else. So I was just kind of over it. So I made it through that first season, but I didn't really pick up the second just because I was trying to get away from things that were too real world current. Same reason I turned off the news. I was just tired of hearing one side or the other, just everyone blaming everybody. And I just didn't want to see that. I want to watch a movie to get away from what's going on, not necessarily be highly involved.
I get that, man. And that's most people. That's most people what they want. They don't want to be hit over the head with everything they're being hit over the head with already. And I don't understand when it comes down to it. People don't understand that. It's just boggles my mind because it's make something entertaining. You can be, matter of fact, you can talk, you can rant, you can rave.
Right. You
can even push the themes. But also, if that's what you're going to be, say that's what you're going to be. That's not right. The Twilight Zone. The thing I loved about the original is it was political. It had a lot of themes and tones, but it gave you a half hour of entertainment.
Right.
So to turn around and then do this and be it's not as entertaining. I can watch Black Mirror and get the same messages they're putting forth and being really hitting you over the head with. A lot of people think Black Mirror is very avant-garde or just edgy in this way where it's new and it's fresh. And so it's no, it's not. It's hitting you over the head with messages.
Right.
It's just very creatively doing so, like Rod Serling did. That's why it's entertaining.
Right.
And yeah, you're right. Twilight Zone did not do that, and then most of them don't. They just don't get it. Right. I would love to sit down and do a top 5 list with you on, those really those shows The Outer Limits or Twilight Zone or maybe not something like that.
Right.
Creep Show is another one. Yeah, like the anthology pieces. Would you put like a Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction in there?
Yeah, I'd add it. Why not?
Well, just because it was more of a like an Unsolved Mysteries or Fact or Fiction. Like they weren't like narrative shows. They were hosted and like they would tell the vignette. They would show the vignettes and stuff. So Matt's voice sounds like Toby Keith. Well, Matt's not here. I don't know. There's no Matt. There's a Paul. There's a George. There's a Paul. This
must be the conversation they're having with each other. That must be.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh, they're just all like talking to each other. Jesus, this is a fuck off episode. This for sure. And I will keep saying it because that's what it is. But yeah, so like watching those episodes, they always like the Black Mirror ones get me. Even Night Gallery, Rod Serling show, Night Gallery, that was a good one too. It wasn't. I would not put it on the same level as the Twilight Zone, but it was worth the watch for sure. And to upgrade it to the 70s, just got. And then it's in color again. It loses that luster of what the black and white was. Like, could you imagine any episode of the Twilight Zone in color?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, because it just worked. It fit perfectly. So it's one of those things. But I love that. I'll talk Twilight Zone all day long. I love it. You're gonna love it next week. Our video for Snobs Film History is the Vic Morrow incident, the controversy on Twilight Zone movie.
Heck yeah, that's gonna be fun.
That was great. I had a teacher who worked on that movie as a cameraman.
That's right.
And
we talked about this.
He turned that down. Oh, I think I told you on the show, didn't we? You
either on the show or behind stage. Yeah.
Something like that. So getting into filmmaking and writing, I want to kind of go there because I'm having some fun talking to you about. Sturdy says, Mick, that black and white, what you said is dope. Sturdy, I am making no comments on race in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what you're talking about. Of course, we love Horror Source Sturdy podcast, which is coming up afterwards, and it's a simulcast, so I will be on there as well. But
there you go. You're busy tonight.
Busy tonight. I'm busy all week. Like 5 live shows this week. And I miss you, man. I wish you were there for the read last week. Did you see it?
No, I haven't watch it yet.
I know it's long, but I really love to hear what you think of it. It was so bonkers and weird, but I wish you could be a part of the charity event. That would be great. But I know you work, but dude, it's gonna be a good time.
Yep.
I'm gonna we got some fun stuff.
Maybe I can pre-record something and you could just throw it in there if you have a fill-in spot, little block you need.
We should just have you. We should do a cut-in. No, you're working and you're security. That would have been funny. Like I was thinking if you were there, we'd do a cut-in of you like finally walking through the thing, but you can't. I know it. Listen, logically, I know.
Right.
But
it would be cool.
Oh man, Twilight Zone, laugh out loud, not people, not this time, not every time, not any time. Don't you try and put that voodoo on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you do it. So, all right. So North Carolina, you're getting ready to write a movie. You're going to film it. It's your first time. With the challenges of writing? Well, with writing, what are some of the challenges? I should need to rephrase the question. Like, what have been some challenges so far in completing it?
I tried this time to write it just as a screenplay, and I've never written in screenplay format in my life. I've only done very short stories. The majority of my life, so it's tough trying to break up the conversation like that, where it could be like Mick says this, Paul this, yada yada. They move here, now they continue the conversation. Typing that out is poo poo. I don't know how people do that. That's foreign to me. And what I've gone back and done relatively recently is just wrote it as a short film and been breaking it apart from there to run the lines in there to kind of write it like a giant, I guess not even short story, just a story period, since that's what I'm used to, and then changing it into screenplay format.
Well, so like when you're doing that then and you're changing it into screenplay format, are you doing it as you write? Like, well, now you're going back in and you're doing it afterwards, but when you were writing in the first place, were you just setting it up to write that way? Like as you were going, you're like, all right, this has to be centered, and are you doing it that way? No.
Yes, that's how I was doing it.
Stop. Right. When we're off the air, I'm going to help you.
Right.
I'm going to get a program that will make it so much easier because it will write in format for you. All you have to do is click and tell it where to go. So it'll be fine. We're going to get it much easier because yes, that's tedious as fuck.
Right.
So don't do that. Just write it. Well, don't write anything right now. We'll write it so that way you have it if it's in your head, and then we'll talk about figuring it out, because there's also a macro you can put on Word that will write it in format too. So we'll get that figured out. Don't bother yourself. Don't go crazy over it. It's going to be okay. And it won't be as tedious if you don't have to make those changes for sure. Right. I'm sitting there. I'm like, Wait a second. Is he pushing the rock uphill? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Yes.
No more pushing the rock uphill. Let's get it done. I'm excited though. I think that while you're writing too, keep that in mind. Don't worry about format. I am a firm believer in the Hitchcockian way, although Quentin Tarantino as a filmmaker is a good disprover that that's the only way, is that dialogue should be the least important thing. If you're driving a story with the dialogue, you have a hollow story.
Right.
You should show everything and tell as little as you can. And I've always been a firm believer, and I think the best movies are like that. And the thing, when I said Quentin Tarantino earlier, it's not like he doesn't know how to do that. He does in folds. He's a genius in the craft. But he automatically has witty dialogue. He has like some receptor that not a lot of people have, where he can add witty dialogue that matches the tone, but never drives it.
Right.
Which is something I really enjoy about that. So when you're writing, don't worry so much about the dialogue. Figure out how you want each scene to play out. Like, and if people are talking, that's fine. You can get to what they say to each other. Have a general idea of like we're talking now. I have no idea what the topics are. It's a fuck off episode. So I'm just going to talk, and that's completely fine. But you have an idea as you're writing what you want to say, what kind of point you want to get across. After you write out how it all plays out, add the dialogue in. So that way it's like, okay, are they saying things that make sense?
Right.
Because a lot of bad scripts say too much. So like you can be like, yeah, I was having a really hard time. I went to go see my mother, and she was having a fit, and it was really crazy. And I was bleeding in the back of my head because I had hit my head earlier that day, and it was kind of crusting up and pulling on my hair. It was craziness. And it was just really weird feeling that was going down. And then somebody else steps in, they're going to say the next thing. Well, have you gotten your head checked out? Are you saying, are you seeing things? You might have a concussion. And so they're adding to what's going on. I'm just making up fucking dialogue that means nothing, but it's not meant to what I'm saying there is it's not meant to drive the story.
Right.
So when you add it, make sure it folds into the story. So I use that, like he's telling a story. He's advancing what had happened. His head is bleeding. Maybe the other person in the story, he, she, whoever, is saying to him, well, oh my God, so now you're adding like an extra layer of like drama to the dialogue, but you're not taking us out of the scene.
Right.
So it's all important what you say, not, yeah, I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I know. If I see that in your script, I'm going to make you rewrite. Don't do that now. Don't do it. Moonlight says, I find that horror films fall into cliche a lot. I don't know how to call them cliche. They have cliches, like the bad ones especially, but a lot of them follow conventions and tropes that are really important to have in a horror movie, because that deciphers, is this a horror movie versus a thriller? Is this a horror comedy versus an actual gore porn or something else? Like, you need to have those conventions that really fit. Like when you have to have a final girl and the slashers. Can you change up the conventions? Absolutely, but they still have to remain in some way, shape, or form. Oh, and then Dan answered the question. It's not cliche, it's archetypal. Though cliche is replication, archetypal is foundation. Very good. Yeah, there you go. Daniel, yes, items have become worn and duplicated. These two are having fun. Fred Carroll's here. What's up, buddy? All these F-bombs from Mick turns me on. Should. Keep you going. We'll help you, Paul, study the Blood Lake script. Oh God, that was the worst. And I had to rewrite that goddamn thing. Nah, just bad horror does that. Good horror knows to build on archetypes, so they follow Aristotelian, that a real word, conventions in writing. It's like It versus the newest Halloween. Yeah, that's true. Well, it had its issues in the second chapter. That's all I'm going to say. They did go more for some cliches in that than they did conventions, which they read the book. They could have no one should ever study Blood Lake. That you should if you want to study bad screenwriting, bad filmmaking. You absolutely should, because I'm sorry, Dan, I know how bad it is, and I know why you're saying that, because you were a trooper in that reading the other night. But you can learn from the bad just as easily as you can learn from the good. Trust me.
True.
That's another thing I tell people often too who want to get into screenwriting or any type of writing. Write what you're writing, or read what you're writing. I'm sorry. Read screenplays. Read the good ones. That's when you want to stick more to the good stuff.
Right,
Kind of understand how they do that. And when you read the screenplays, it gives you just that idea of how to handle, action, where it's going to go. But also, you want to direct this, don't you?
Yes, I do.
So it's a good, because when you're writing, you have an idea, you want to direct it. It is what it is. Like, not everybody who writes is a director, and I applaud people who know that. But I love the movie 300. I find it a horror movie. Am I wrong? It is not a horror genre movie. It has horrific elements to it for sure, but I would not call that a horror movie at all, because it doesn't have the same conventions. It has conventions more towards comic book based movies, it has conventions more towards period pieces, and it even fits the conventions of like dramas and action movies, but it doesn't really fit what horror, conventions kind of set that genre as. All right. So Paul, as we go, when we're directing, I'm not sorry, misspoke. When you're directing and I'm on set eating craft services, where are we filming? Can you give me an idea of that? Are there inside locations or are there outside locations?
There's both. I'm doing more open and outside than inside. The inside is why is that?
I hate you because I know what's going to happen every film I've ever worked on when we're outside and it's a horror movie.
Is it going to rain?
Oh, it's always going to rain. Yes, of course it's going to rain the second you were like, I'm writing this outdoor scene. I'm telling you now, film in the fall or the spring.
Fall.
Don't shoot for the winter. Don't shoot for the summer.
Okay.
You don't want miserable people. Trust me. You're going to have in the summer outside, you're going to have miserable people. Right. You have like 10, 15 people in one room, you're going to have miserable people. Trust me. Oh, we're going to get all over this. Are you kidding me? The scene of the hunchback man entering a king, the mayor, made me wet my pants. Listen, I'm not saying, I love the fact that it gave you that type of reaction. That's very cool. Like, and I'm not saying it can't be scary for people, but when you're talking about the genre in a whole, it doesn't really fit, and it's not designed to be a horror film. So like being scared of something is perfectly fine and valid. Your feelings and such are valid on it, but it's just doesn't fit the genre, so that's why I like it. Just to answer your question, is it a horror movie? No. Does it have horrifying elements? Yeah, absolutely. And I can see why people have fearful moments of it. Now, when it comes off to filming outside, I'm going to tell you this right. It's okay. But why do I have a feeling there's woods in my future? Are there woods in my future?
No, absolutely aren't.
I knew you'd do this. Every fucking new.
You just got to purge it out now. That's the whole reason of the episode. You'll be fine.
I'm gonna. That's the whole point. Every new filmmaker. No, next year's fuck off episode is when I'm going to purge this one. Every new filmmaker wants to film in the woods because Jason Voorhees was cool once. I like Jason Voorhees. Don't get me wrong, but everybody wants to film in the woods.
It's mainly for me. It's just the shots I have in mind without giving anything away like I'm brilliant or something. But just the shots I have in my head from how I want it. The woods are just going to complement the scenes very beautifully. Shoot them how I want them.
Well, listen, I get it, and it will happen. But if you want me to produce this thing for you, what I'm thinking is we're going to be in the woods, probably far from outlets. Is it a nighttime shoot?
No. So I'm going to go with kind of Jordan Peele's approach. So it's going to be daytime, but I'm going to make it within editing, make it look like.
No, you're not.
Why not? Why not?
No, you're not. You're not shooting day for night. On your first film, are we hiring the best cinematographer on the planet, an editor and color corrector and everything?
Possibly.
Not. It's possible.
Right.
Wait, are you shooting for dusk? Are you shooting for like 3:00 in the morning?
More of dusk. Definitely not 3 a.m. No need for 3 a.m. And there are outlets everywhere, just so you know, because I have the spots picked out where I'm filming, and there are abundance of outlets.
All right, good. But we have to run generators if not. So keep that in mind. If you run generators, what's going to happen?
Noise.
Dialogue is going to sound like. You got to put the generator all the way out and dig a hole, and that's never safe. This is filmmaking 101. No, it's okay to film outside. Everybody films outside. It's perfectly viable to do. But keeping that in mind, if you have any scenes or locations, picking them because they're cool is fine. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing personally, but like if somebody's writing, like picking them because they're cool looking, yeah, that's fine. But just keep that in mind as you go along to remember that when you're writing, make sure the location fits the tone of what you're trying to say. And honestly, I would like, if you want to get an idea, just keep it broad.
Right.
You know, like certain ones, like if it's woods, then great. We got to find a location where there's outlets. Like you said, like you have one picked out, but like you have it picked out and then we can go there and there's outlets. But some people don't think about that. So keep that in mind too. Like all this little stuff I'm going to try and help along the way as we produce this thing. It's going to be great.
Oh yeah.
But man, when I heard the woods, I'm like, generators and lights and everything. It's going to be amazing. But of course, you can budget for it all. Moonlight. I hate horror movies when the killer is running by a beautiful girl, running them down, wearing high heels, and then throws things at the killer like a truck or a refrigerator. Wait, what do you mean throws things at? Sorry, I'm trying to understand. Like, like you just like. I'm sure that's exaggeration, embellishment. You mean something like they may hit him with a car or something like that, or like in Scream when she hits him with the bottles of beer or the refrigerator doors and stuff. Yeah. I mean, listen, horror has a lot of suspension of disbelief. There's some things like I'll watch Scream with my wife, and every time she hits him in the face with a full beer bottle, I'm like, he's dead. Like, no, he can die. I'm like, he's dead. He's dead. You don't take a full force throw, whipping it directly between the eyes, unless you have a steel skull under that mask, you're dead, hands down. You got to forgive it and let it go. You know, probably just cause brain damage, and that's why they started killing. In fact, that would be my defense. I'd be like, wow, you know, I didn't kill anybody until she hit me with that beer bottle in the face.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. But, all right, guys, we're going to get into the next portion, and that is Let Me Micksplain. Taylor, Travis, in the world. And I want to get my good old producing assistant, Paul, PA Paul, as you will. See my ring light in the thing. Tell me, how do you feel about Taylor and Travis?
I think it's fine. I think it's hilarious how many friends I have that are, I'll say, a little over the top Taylor Swift fans that are now in full support of that team. I think it's cool that that's how life works. I think it's insane, but it's definitely interesting.
Oh man, dude, it is an interesting one for sure, because it's so this whole thing, I don't mind it. My wife is a huge Taylor Swift fan, so like she got really into it, and I think it's just getting caught up. It's like they're playing, you know, the PR people are doing perfect. They're playing it stuff like it's a fairy tale romance and it's crazy and it's her year and he's the best tight end and the best team, and it works. It's fine. It was really cute how he brought the bracelet to her with his phone number. It was funny because when I said that is so adorable, I was like, yeah, so great. Like, I've never done that before. Like, you know, like, never done little cute things before like this. But the fact that it's turning like crazy. She showed up to 2 games so far. It's probably the most attendance that either of those teams have ever had. Right. The entire broadcast is becoming Taylor Swift. Right. It's truly just becoming nuts. And I got to be honest, I think it's hurting football. Yeah. Taylor and Travis, I hope you're happy. I hope you have your storybook fairy tale of life. It's very cool that the Swifties want to take to the team and go out. Right. And I'm not saying that people going to the games and focusing on Taylor at the game are hurting football. Go crazy. But football fans, and I'm not even that huge of a fan anymore, football fans watching this are annoyed. And I actually have talked to like people online and stuff who are really into the Taylor Swift thing and like this whole thing. They're like annoyed by it. They're like, all right, come on. Right. Like, it's, you know, you're ruining the whole game and there's 2 teams playing. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. It just becomes like this whole thing where it's just kind of annoying about it. And I just like, I wish there was better sense to it, because I feel like it kind of feels like we're being duped a little bit. Yeah. Doesn't, maybe not by them, maybe not by this whole thing, but like this whole year of like, let's shove this all down the throats. This is nice. This is great. And it's like, we don't need this right now. Right. You know, there's a lot going on. And we're focused on Taylor Swift and her boyfriend, the football player. Yeah. And most of her songs, aren't they about like not all being a football player? She didn't care. She went whole hard. She was like, oh, guess what? I'm bringing my friend. And my friend are Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Right. Holy shit. I just got why she did that. Who are Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman friends with? Jake Gyllenhaal. That's I think right. I think she's trying to squeeze out Jake Gyllenhaal from their friendship. He wasn't there, and they're trying to fit Travis Kelce in. I see you, Taylor. I see what you're doing. You can hate him all you want because he wasn't nice to you. But come on, I kind of like his movie. He's a good actor. Let's not hurt him. Where were you? I just watched Boys.
I just watched Prisoners, I think 2 nights ago, 2 or 3 nights ago. Does no wrong. I love that whole movie.
It really is. It's such, even from beginning to end, it's shocking. Yeah. And it's
Paul
actually
Dano?
funny. I forgot Hugh Jackman was in that one too. So where are you, Hugh?
Right.
Sticking up for your friend. Where's the loyal? I'm not going to a Jets game to hang out with some other dude from the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to hang out with my boy Jake at home.
What I do find a little confusing is if the roles were reversed and he was just showing up Taylor Swift games, if the spotlight was off Taylor, everyone would be crucifying. That's not fair. You're taking away from her spotlight. So as much as, like you said, it is a little entertaining at first, but if it was reversed, it'd be a whole problem. So it'd be like, that's not fair to her. Like, she's trying to sing and stuff, and everyone's trying to look at him or talk to him.
The only thing I'll say to that point is right now, nobody's taking over for Taylor. Nobody's stopping this train at all.
No.
If she showed up, like if anyone, and celebrities are showing in droves to her concert, and they're bringing everybody, and they're taking pictures, and nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Like, I think there was one, like, it still becomes about Taylor. Like, I think Kevin Costner went, and they were like, even Kevin Costner loves Taylor Swift.
Right.
I'm like, these huge stars are like going, and like, granted, Kevin Costner may not be like the best to say like the hot new star, but like you have Jennifer Lawrence, all these people, and nobody gives a shit. They're like, no, it's Taylor.
Yep,
she's the star. So I'm gonna give her a lot of credit. She outshines everybody right now. And she's killing it. So good on her. She's a girl boss. So she's a boss. Let's just say she's a boss. So I'm enjoying seeing her rise, because at the same time, like, that's good for the economy. That's good for, positivity, being light, like, I feel like entertaining good things like that help in rough times, like as much as Michael Jackson may not have helped in other areas. His music, when he was like this huge phenomenon, I think really helped with a lot of things going on in the world, just because there was an entertainment factor there was something bigger than life, something you can look up to. Again, behind closed doors, it's kind of terrifying, but whatever, it's neither here nor there. Paul, stop bringing it up.
My bad.
Moonlight says, sorry, my English is bad because I'm not American. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm glad you shared that with us. Thank you so much, Moonlight. And I'm from Armenia and live in England. Hey, all right. Very cool. And thanks for joining in tonight, man. And listen, completely understand. Just keep saying it. We'll try and figure it out. If we don't understand it right off the bat, we'll figure it out. That's communication, right? I've been searching for years for a movie whose name I forgot about. A village that drinks from a spring that makes them not age. Can you please help me find? We got a little investigation, a little snoop going. They drink from a spring and they never age. I'm going to look this up on the Googs. What do you got?
I'm trying to think, because at first I was like, oh, that's Cocoon. Then I was like, they don't drink.
Yeah, there's water in it.
Village, right?
Is it a horror movie or is it some other kind of movie? A never age? Let's see what we got. Is it Tuck Everlasting? I don't know. I typed in exactly what you said, and it came up, and it says Tuck Everlasting from 1981. In a turn of the century, upstate New York, Winnie Foster, a 12-year-old girl, discovers a family living in the woods near her family's home who never ages, thanks to a magical spring they drink from, and is entrusted to keep their secret and becomes involved in their lives. If that is the movie, that's Tuck Everlasting. Water makes them not age. A boy with a broken leg comes to this village with his father or mother. The village doctor asks him to swim in the river, and he can walk normally. I don't know. Maybe Tuck Everlasting. No idea. We'll keep an eye out for it. And maybe on one of the extra other broadcasts, we could definitely find it. But I appreciate you showing that. And anybody else, if you have movies like that, we're happy to try and look for them for you. So Paul, listen, what is your biggest thing coming up? We're off Travis and Taylor. Good for you, Taylor. Just I like completely abandon it. Screw it. It's the fuck off episode. Make sure to watch. If you're watching this clip, make sure to watch the whole episode and you'll completely understand what's going on. So before we get into the last segment, I want to ask you what is like some big Halloween traditions you are following this year, or maybe some new ones you're making now, especially that you have a wife at home.
Yep. Okay. So all three of us, because we also live with Matt. We traditionally have been choosing like at least one good horror movie to watch, but this year we decided all of us were going to choose five go-to Halloween horror movies, and we're going to watch at least 15 together. So honestly, I'm just looking forward to that, because that's going to take up a bit of time, a good weekend for us, trying to plow through all these movies. And I'm interested to see, honestly, more of Matt's, because I don't know what his five go-to Halloween movies are going to be. So I'm looking forward to that. Sam, I'm excited too. I can probably guess one or two of them, but I couldn't tell you all. And I
And you
think my
just
list is to throw them all.
Are you going to reveal them all to each other as you watch them, or what's the deal?
I think we said probably within the next week or by this weekend we were going to sit down and all have our 5 chosen, and then we'll just figure out which ones we're watching first.
Throw them in a bowl, mix it up.
Yep.
That'd be a fun
Absolutely.
one. Something a little different. I like that, man. That's pretty awesome. And Moonlight, you said, can you write me the address you just mentioned? I don't think I mentioned an address, but if it is the title you're looking for, I did put it in the description. It's Tuck Everlasting is the one I found. And Wise is here. What's up, man? How you doing, Wise? Thanks for joining in. And no problem, Moonlight. Happy to help out. I like that idea. I like that you guys are coming together as friends and be able to all throw in the hat and watch each other's movies. I might even try that, this year too, and just be like, just because I like to learn other people's tastes and stuff too. So I think that's a cool way to do it. It really gives you, sometimes I just want people to recommend to me, but unfortunately I am the scene snob and I'm the guy who has to recommend. It's what it is. And that's right. This week I'm recommending for Mick's movie picks. I'm going to give you a movie based on the year 1977. Last year was 1972 and actually 1998. And I recommended, sorry, Paul, you're cut out. I recommended Deliverance and Night at the Roxbury because both of those years won in a tie. This year, 1977. And I'm thinking.
Made in 77.
Well, no. That wasn't made in 77. The one I'm about to address is made in 77. And then the one so this week, 1977 won. Of course, if you guys know, you can vote we post over on our Discord and we post over on our Facebook group. So you can be part of either one, and that's where you can vote for the year. We put it up after every episode so you can follow throughout the week. This week, 1977 won, my friend, and I got to tell you, I'm going horror only for October. And can you guess what 1977 horror film I chose this week?
You want me to guess?
Yeah, let's see. I will say that it involves a killer fish, or actually it involves a killer mammal. I guess.
Orca?
It's orca.
Okay.
I want the Richard Harris movie that just stands out as a crazy Jaws ripoff. So bonkers in so many ways. If you guys haven't seen Orca, you absolutely need to see it. Charlotte Rampling's in it as well as love interest. You might remember her. She was like in one of the worst seasons of Dexter ever, but she's been in tons of stuff. She's fantastic actress. But yeah, Orca from 1977. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you're watching this as a clip, we do these every week on the Scene Snobs podcast, and you can check it out. But yeah, man, I love this movie. Have you ever seen this movie?
I sure have.
when that whale tears down the house at the end, the only thing I think about is why? But why?
Right.
Why would you live in that house when there's a whale hunting you? It makes no sense. Well, it's not really the end, but it's at one point. But that movie is bonkers. I will tell you this: anybody who watches that movie, that beginning is a bit of a hard watch with the baby whale.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Oh man! And they really went. The thing that screwed me up about that dumb movie is that instead of like Jaws, where it's just like man versus nature, they tried to make the orca a revenge tale,
right?
And give the orca that killer personality.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, it's a whale, though, dude. Like seriously, like. What are we talking about here? That whale would have swam away, remembered, because let's face facts, orcas are dicks, remembered you, but is not going to hunt all over the world for you.
Right.
Just not how it's going to work. But this movie always, but I had to pick it because I do think that if you're a horror fan or you're a film fan in general, watching a cheesy ripoff of the 70s, but with 2 really good actors in the roles is worth it.
Right.
But it's that time, my friend.
Okay.
We are winding down. This is a short episode because that's the fuck off episode. But before we go, is there anything from this year you just want to purge? You're hoping will leave you for the next year and you can just go about your day without having to worry about things?
I don't think I have anything to purge right now. I really don't. All in all, it's been kind of a stagnant year. So maybe just getting rid of the stagnantness of myself.
I want to purge everything and get the stagnant. Give me the stagnant. I will take the stagnant. This year sucks. I have so many wonderful people in my life and I'm so fortunate for that and I love it. But this has been a tough year. So I'm looking forward to getting on to the year 5 of the Scene Snobs podcast and just, let's get out of it. No complaint. I do love I love my life. I love my family. I love my friends. I love you guys all watching, hanging out. Paul, I love you, buddy. I thank you so much for your first episode and being part of the Fuck Off episode. This is a weird one because it's so, this is the one time, and it worries me every time. You know how well I plan each episode.
Right. Yeah.
And like I'm meticulous. And like next time you're on, like you'll have topics and stuff. So it's not a big deal. But like I make sure to get these topics, put everything together, do what I got to do. And then there it is. I have the fuck off episode and it completely derails me because it's like, what am I going to talk about? It's the fuck off episode. You just have to this is like free writing. It's just like coasting. It's supposed to be, because it's supposed to drain you of all that crap throughout the year of planning and everything else. And I'll give it to Kelce. Kelce came up with this idea of like purging before the anniversaries. Like I would rant. It started out as rants before the anniversary. And then when he came on, he's like, let's just have a fuck off episode. We can rant. We can do whatever we want. He's like, let's just come on and not worry about it. Right. So I'm glad I got to spend that time with you this year, my friend.
Absolutely.
And, it's a good time. I love you, buddy. You're amazing. I can't wait to, read the script, work on this stuff with you, help you plan it out, and just be a part of it,
Absolutely. Yes.
So is there anything you want to add before we get going?
I just love you too. And I'm excited for next week. And I'm glad for the anniversary.
Yeah, man, I am too. Actually, next week's another anniversary. Well, actually, this week's the anniversary. Next week is an anniversary of something else. Do you remember what? Ultimate Fan Experience.
Oh, it was.
It was the ultimate fan experience. Guys, before we go, let's talk about it real quick. Last year, we hung out with Paul down in North Carolina, and what we try to do is the ultimate fan experience. Whenever we came out, we're going to make it worse for you. Even though I feel like it turned out to be a pretty good night.
Oh, it was awesome. And the best part was the worst part. Poor Casey.
Poor guy. Yeah, I hit Casey with the van.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And then we found a lawyer. So that was something. Yeah, we had a good time with that one. That was a weird night, but it was good. It was a good night though.
It was a very good night. That was the best part though. That's part that always sticks, because I'll never forget. You just yelled "Ultimate Fan Experience." You floored it. Then you hear a thump thump thump. And you're like,
you inspired a shirt on the merch. Oh my god, dude! The fact that I floored it and hit him with the car. So if you're wondering where Casey is,
yeah.
No,
cover up. No,
I got tried. I offered to get him on Mick at night. I want him to come on, hang out.
There you go.
He will. And I guess I'll never purge Casey. That's not how that works. But I will tell you this: it's gonna be a good time. And when Woods of Terror is over, you better be back on.
Oh, I will. Absolutely.
I love you, man. Thank you so much for joining in tonight. Paul is great, guys. Go check him out. Go check out Woods of Terror. What town is it in North Carolina?
Greensboro.
Greensboro. So where is it?
North Church Street. It's off of
North Church Street in Greensboro, North Carolina. Get out there and go and see it. It is ranked 4th on the East Coast for haunts, and why not go check that out for yourself? Until next time, Paul, I'm going to say goodnight to you. I'm going to sign off, and then I will talk to you guys next week at 7 p.m. But we have a lot of shows. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This Friday at 8 p.m., we have our anniversary special. Check that out. Another thing I would like you guys to check out that Paul doesn't want to be a part of because he's so busy is next Friday. Not this Friday, but the 13th, we're doing a script reading for charity. Friday the 13th, Horror Research 30 podcast and us, we've teamed up together. It's going to be a charity event. The charity is live now, and it'll be in the descriptions below after this. And you can donate anytime throughout the month. We're going to be running it all month long, and it all goes to All for Lunch, which is trying to end school debt for lunch programs. So love it. Appreciate it. Paul, thank you so much, man. I'm going to let you go, and I'll talk to you soon, brother.
That's good.
And until next time, everybody, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining in, being a part of it. Make sure to go over, like our social media, talk to us there, hang out with us, join our Discord, join our Facebook group, become part of the Snob Nation community, and make sure to hit like on this video because it really helps us go a long way. Subscribe, but you want to hit that bell so you know when more episodes like this, other live events, or other shows come out as well. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. If I'm going to purge anything, it's going to be all the bad feelings that you guys are having, and hopefully you'll have good feelings from now on. I'm Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs. Be kind, stay spooky, and take care. Bye, everybody.